Healthy love feels boring because your brain was trained to survive, not to be loved. Here's the neuroscience. If chaos was your normal growing up, walking on eggshells, earning affection, proving your worth, your nervous system coded love as anxiety, unpredictability, and effort. Peace doesn't register as safety. It registers as the calm before the storm, and your brain is screaming, "Something's wrong, run." But here's what's actually happening. When someone treats you well, consistent, reliable, no games, your amygdala goes into overdrive. Not because it's dangerous, because it's unfamiliar. Your brain has a blueprint for love, drama, uncertainty, earning approval. Healthy love doesn't match the pattern, so your nervous system labels it threat and floods you with discomfort. This is called familiarity bias. But here's where it gets dangerous. You'll start creating problems that don't exist, picking fights, testing boundaries, pushing them away to see if they'll chase you. Why? Because conflict feels like connection. Your brain is trying to convert peace into the chaos it recognizes as love, and if they stay calm, you'll interpret their stability as disinterest. They're too nice, they must be hiding something. Where's the passion? But passion isn't intensity. Passion is what remains when the intensity stops masking dysfunction. And your brain doesn't know the difference yet. Here's why. You were taught love is something you earn. Every time affection was conditional, "I'll love you if you behave." You're only valuable when you succeed. Your brain wired a neural pathway. Effort equals worthiness. Someone loving you without conditions breaks that circuit. Your brain panics. What do I do? How do I earn this? The answer: you don't. And that terrifies you. Because if love isn't earned, it can't be controlled. It can be lost without warning. So your brain defaults to the familiar. I'll sabotage this before they abandon me. This is called preemptive rejection. You're not protecting yourself. You're reenacting the past. But here's the pattern most people miss. Healthy partners don't trigger your survival instincts. No adrenaline spikes. No cortisol floods. No constant vigilance. Your body interprets this as emotional flatness. But it's not flatness, it's regulation. Your nervous system is finally resting, and rest feels like death when you've been running your whole life. This is where the real battle begins. You'll start romanticizing toxic exes. At least they made me feel alive. But alive isn't the same as safe. Alive is your nervous system in constant fight or flight. What you're actually mourning isn't love, it's the adrenaline addiction. And your brain will do anything to get that fix back. Watch what happens next. Here's how you know the difference. Trauma bonds feel like obsession. You think about them 47 times a day. Check their socials, replay conversations, analyze every text. Your brain is stuck in a loop. If I figure them out, I can fix this. That's not love, that's your nervous system trying to solve an unsolvable puzzle. Secure attachment feels different. You think about them, then you think about other things. No constant anxiety, no mental spirals, no need to decode their behavior. This feels wrong because your brain associates love with preoccupation. But preoccupation is hypervigilance. It's your threat detection system on overdrive. Healthy love doesn't require surveillance, and that feels like indifference. But here's the twist. Trauma bonds make you feel chosen. Out of everyone, they picked me, I'm special. That dopamine hit is intoxicating. But you weren't chosen for who you are. You were selected for what you tolerate. They didn't see your value. They saw your weak boundaries. Secure partners don't make you feel chosen. They make you feel seen. And being seen is scarier than being chosen. Here's why. Being chosen means you won a competition. Being seen means they know the real you. Flaws, fears, failures, and they stay anyway. No performance required. No mask needed. Your brain screams, they'll leave once they really know me. So you start hiding parts of yourself, creating drama, anything to avoid the vulnerability of being fully known. This is the sabotage pattern, and it has 3 stages. Stage 1. The honeymoon discomfort. Everything's great, but you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. You can't relax, you scan for red flags that don't exist. Your friends say, they're perfect. Your gut says, something's off. Trust your gut, right? Wrong. Your gut was trained in a war zone. It mistakes peace for a trap. Stage 2. The manufactured crisis. You start arguments over nothing. You didn't text me back fast enough. You're too agreeable. You're not upset about the issue, you're trying to create the chaos that feels like home. And if they stay calm, you escalate. Why? Because their stability threatens your identity. You've always been the one who fixes, adapts, survives. Who are you if you're just loved? Stage 3. The exit strategy. You pull away, go cold. Find reasons why they're not right for you. Too boring, too available, too nice. You ghost or pick a fight big enough to justify leaving. And the second they're gone, you feel relief, then regret, then confusion. Because you just destroyed the exact thing you claim to want. But here's what your brain is really doing. It's protecting you from the scariest thing you've never experienced: unconditional safety. Because if you let yourself need them and they leave, the pain would be unbearable. Better to leave first, better to stay in control. This isn't self-sabotage, it's self-preservation. Your nervous system is doing its job. It's just using outdated data. And here's how you update it. Step 1. Name the pattern. When peace feels wrong, don't trust the feeling, observe it. Say out loud, "This is my nervous system rejecting safety because safety is unfamiliar." The second you name it, you create distance between the trigger and the reaction. Your brain can't run automatic programs when you're actively watching them. This is neuroplasticity in real time. Next. Step 2. Sit with the discomfort. When they text back consistently, show up on time, keep their promises, and you feel bored, don't chase drama to fix it. Sit in the boredom. Let your body feel the absence of adrenaline. Your nervous system will scream, "Do something." Don't. This is the detox phase. You're withdrawing from chaos like an addict withdraws from a drug. And it's supposed to feel terrible. Here's how long it takes. Neurologically, it takes 90 days of consistent safety for your amygdala to start recalibrating. 3 months of peace before your brain stops coding it as threat. That's 90 days of feeling meh while your friends date people who excite them. But excitement isn't connection. Excitement is your nervous system preparing for danger. Stay the course. Because here's what happens after 90 days. Peace starts feeling like power. No more walking on eggshells. No more analyzing their moods. No more earning your place. You realize, this is what I've been fighting for. The stillness isn't emptiness, it's freedom. But you won't get there if you quit at day 30 because it doesn't feel right. Feelings are lagging indicators. Your nervous system updates slower than your logic. Keep going. Here's the tactic that accelerates this. Step 3. Practice micro-vulnerability. Share something small that scares you. I'm afraid you'll think I'm boring. I don't know how to accept love without earning it. Watch their response. If they dismiss, minimize, or weaponize it later, leave. If they listen, validate, and stay, your brain gets new data. Safety is real. Do this weekly. Each time, your nervous system learns. I can be myself and survive. This is how secure attachment gets built. But here's the obstacle no one talks about. Your trauma-bonded exes will look better in hindsight. Your brain will edit out the bad parts and replay the highs. Remember how passionate we were? Passion isn't intimacy. Passion is what fills the space where intimacy should be. You're not missing them. You're missing the familiar pain. And your brain would rather have familiar pain than unfamiliar peace. Counter this with evidence. Step 4. Keep a reality log. Every time you romanticize the past, write down 3 specific things they did that hurt you. Not vague feelings, concrete actions. They canceled plans last minute 11 times. They stonewalled me for 3 days after disagreements. Read it when your brain rewrites history. This isn't about bitterness. It's about accuracy. Your survival brain distorts the past to keep you from risking the present. Don't let it. Here's why this matters more than you think. Healthy love won't feel like a victory. It'll feel like Tuesday. No grand gestures, no dramatic reunions. Just someone showing up consistently. Your ego hates this. Your ego wants the story. We almost lost each other but fought our way back. Secure love doesn't have a story. It has a pattern. And patterns feel boring until you realize This is the foundation trauma bonds never had. But here's where most people quit. They confuse contentment with settling. If I'm not anxious, I must not care. Dead wrong. Anxiety isn't desire. Anxiety is your nervous system stuck in survival mode. Contentment is what love feels like when you're not fighting to keep it. And if you've never experienced that, your brain labels it wrong. It's not wrong, it's new. And new always feels dangerous at first. Here's the final test. Ask yourself, am I bored or am I safe? Bored means no growth, no depth, no challenge. Safe means no chaos, no manipulation, no games. Most people mistake safety for boredom because they've never had both. Healthy love is safe and growing. If they support your goals, challenge your thinking, and give you space to evolve, that's not boring, that's partnership. And if it still feels wrong, here's what nobody tells you. Sometimes healthy love feels wrong because you don't believe you deserve it. Not intellectually, neurologically. Your self-concept was built on conditional worth. I'm valuable when I'm useful, attractive, successful, compliant. Someone loving you for existing, no conditions, doesn't compute. Your brain rejects it like a mismatched organ transplant. This is called self-concept violation. And it runs deeper than you think. You'll find reasons why they're flawed. Too available means desperate. Too kind means weak. Too stable means boring. You're not critiquing them, you're protecting your belief system. Love is earned. I am not inherently worthy. If they love you without you earning it, one of two things must be true. They're delusional, or your core belief is wrong. Most people conclude they're delusional. Here's how you break this. Catch yourself saying to anything. They're too nice. Stop. Rephrase. They're consistently kind and I'm not used to that. They're too available. Rephrase. They prioritize me. And I was taught love requires scarcity. Every two is your brain protecting the old story. Rewrite it in real time. This isn't toxic positivity, it's cognitive reframing. You're teaching your brain, maybe the old rules were survival tactics, not truth, and maybe you don't need to suffer to be loved. That belief kept you alive in a dangerous environment. It served you then, it's destroying you now. Healthy people aren't boring, they're regulated. They're not too nice, they're securely attached. And you're not broken for struggling with this, you're right on time, because rewiring happens in stages. And the hardest stage is accepting that you were never the problem. You adapted brilliantly to a dysfunctional system. Your hypervigilance, your people-pleasing, your tolerance for chaos, those were genius survival strategies. But survival mode isn't living. And the second someone offers you actual partnership, your brain panics. I don't know how to do this. You don't. Yet. That's not failure. That's a new skill tree unlocking. Here's how you build it. Every day, for 60 seconds, sit with this thought. I am practicing receiving love without earning it. Not affirmations, not forced belief, just practice. Like learning a language. Your brain will resist. Let it. Don't fight the discomfort. Study it. This is what safety feels like to a nervous system trained for war. And slowly, incrementally, your brain will stop fighting. The discomfort will fade. And one day, healthy love will feel like home. Not because it's familiar, because you've rebuilt what home means. This isn't about them anymore. It's about you becoming someone who can receive love without suspicion, give love without losing yourself, and walk away from anything less. That's psychological immunity. Drop your story in the comments. Someone reading this needs to know they're not alone. Subscribe for more psychological armor that actually works.